Good afternoon, students. Yeah, how are you all? You seem to be having a good lunch, and then you are very energetic now. Yeah, nice. And as we have already finished we have finished almost all the syllabus, and we are left with one more topic, and we are about to complete that particular topic in this session, right? And before I start taking up that particular lesson, let me ask you a few questions first, right? These days, we drink water, or we drink more water, or we drink many water. What is the right answer among the three sentences? These days, we drink water. These days, we drink more water. The third one is these days we drink many water. First two are correct. Okay, wonderful. Nagaraj. Many water. We drink many water. Wonderful. Many water is correct. And Murli, what do you say? First two correct. Then Rajkiran? You're not sure. Okay, there is a slight confusion. And people say that first two correct and first three correct. Okay, the first sentence is these days we drink water. Is it only these days we drink water, or even other days also we drink water? Every day we drink water. So, can we rule out the first answer? Because this is an everyday action, but this is not specific to this particular season. So, we rule out the first one.
So these days we drink more water because it's summer, sir. Previously in winter I didn't drink this much of water.
Exactly. So, first sentence, as I said, it is ruled out, right? These days we drink water. It's not the complete answer, or it's not exact answer, because every day we drink water. So, we can put aside that particular sentence. Second one, I said, these days we drink more water. As Vijaya has already pointed out, or as she has said, that these days, because this is summer, we drink more water. So that's really good. So, because it is summer, we drink more water. And then coming to the third sentence. And what is the third sentence? Jay Prakash.
Third sentence, we drink many water.
We drink many water. And Nagaraj, is it a right sentence? Can we consider the third one also as the right one?
I think it's correct.
You think it is correct? Okay. Nagaraj, any clarity about that?
We cannot use many water because it is an uncountable noun.
Okay, water is uncountable noun. So, you mean to say that?
Many is not possible.
So, many doesn't match with the word water. So, you mean to say the third sentence is wrong and you can rule it out. Okay, dear students, there is always a slight confusion with the use of these words, like before nouns using some water or little water, many water, much water and all that. We do come across a kind of confusion, as Rajkiran has said, there is a slight confusion. So in this session, I am trying to bring you a kind of knowledge, or make you understand the concept of using quantifiers, because these words are called quantifiers, and I'll try to make you clear with all these doubts or confusions, and make you identify quantifiers, appropriate quantifiers at the right context. So using that quantifiers with countables and uncountables, as Nagaraju has said. So today our topic is yes.
So what are quantifiers, sir?
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to tell you now. So there was confusion, which word should be used before waters and all that, and then with the three examples given, we made a little bit of clarity, we got a little bit of clarity over that. So now, as I said, I use the word quantifiers. So a quantifier is a word which is used, word or an expression or a phrase used before a noun to indicate or to describe or present the exact amount of thing. If not the exact one, an amount or quantity of something. So here in our example, it is water. Okay, and we have many other things. So as Nagaraju said, countables and uncountables. He introduced the two words. And Nagaraj, can you say what countables are?
Which can be counted, sir. For example, chain is countable.
Okay,
Fans.
wonderful. And what are uncountables?
For example, air is uncountable or water is uncountable. Depth is uncountable. Because
Very good, Nagaraj. You remember all the lessons that were taught in the last classes. Very good, very good. Right. So we have countables and uncountables where we need to have a little bit of knowledge over these two concepts because quantifiers are related to that. So remember the exact idea of what quantifiers are. Quantifiers are words or phrases which indicate an amount of something or a quantity of something. Right? So and amount or quantity, they are related to these two things. The first point, quantifiers go before nouns, right? For anything that is being spoken about, they go before it. So that's the first point. And second, they and nouns, as already spoken, they come under countables and uncountables. And then second point is, as said, quantifiers indicate an amount or quantity of something, right? So remember these two main points. So going before a noun and then they are going to indicate an amount or quantity, right?
Any word which goes before a noun is a quantifier, sir.
No. When it refers to indicate only amount and quantity, so only that. And if we take any word, we have different parts of speech, and then we have a big lesson on it. We'll deal with all the other things later. Now it's just referred to only amount and quantity. So please remember that. So now here is a picture before you. Just look at the picture, and what do you find here?
Flowers.
You have
Flowers.
just flowers. And how many flowers do you find here?
Many.
You have many flowers. Very good. And how many yellow flowers are there?
Several, sir.
So many.
So many.
So many, right? And how many white flowers are seen here?
Very few flowers.
Few flowers or very few flowers?
Few flowers.
Or a few flowers? Very few. Or just few?
Few.
Okay. And then how much grass is here?
More.
You have many grass, or you have more grass, or you have much grass, or you have less grass? How much grass is here?
Great grass.
Your great grass. So great is not given in the options that are given you, JP. So Rajkiran, how much grass do you find here? Much grass. Wonderful. Right. So again, some of you are able to give the answers. You are able to quantify using quantifiers. You are able to indicate the amount of the number or amount or quantity of flowers, grass. And then when I spoke about white flowers which are less in number, you said less flowers. Very good. So now I'm just going to give you a few points related to this. To remember the points, so I'm going to introduce you a few concepts on this. So this quantifiers, you can put them under mainly three categories, right? So first category, quantifiers are words which indicate so now what is this? Which indicate large quantities. So quantifiers which indicate large amounts or large quantities. So quantifiers can be a few quantifiers can be placed under the first category here. And you have second category, and that is, here it is large, and we speak of
Small one.
so the second one is quantifiers which speak of small quantities. And then we have third category, and that is undefined or neutral quantifiers. So where the amount is not so clear. So an undefined one, right? So coming to large quantities, you can remember just a few words under that. And large quantities, when you were speaking, you said you have more flowers, you have much grass and all that, right? So we can use, remember these categories here, countables and uncountables as well. Under large quantities, we have many which can be used under countables, and then much under uncountables. So there when we speak of grass, you said there is much grass. We cannot say many grass because grass is countable or uncountable? It is uncountable, right? And then you said many flowers. Okay? So you would not say much flowers because you know that it can be numbered, it can be pluralized. So there are many flowers in it. And we can also use words like a lot of. Even a lot of also comes under uncountables. Okay. And coming to small quantities. Small quantities, can anyone give me a few examples under small quantity, quantifiers which go under small quantities? A little. So a little amount of what do you have?
Rice.
You have a little amount of rice. You place that little under countable or uncountable?
Uncountable.
Uncountable, right. Little. Yeah, I have written two words here. Nagaraja has said I have little rice or I have a little rice. So Nagaraj, can you give me the difference between these two words? Little and a little. Do they mean the same or?
No, sir. Both the words have different meanings.
Both the words are different meanings. What is the meaning? What is the different meaning that you have here?
Little means nil, little means very good.
Wow, that's so nice. And what do you say, Rajkiran? What is your understanding of the word little and a little? Are one and the same?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know. Okay. And then Vishya, what do you say? Little, a little.
I have no idea.
No idea about that. Murali,
Little means nothing, sir.
little means nothing.
A little means if
When Nagaraj said, I have little rice, how much rice does Nagaraj have?
no rice.
No rice at all. Right, okay. So remember, in the negative context, instead of saying, I don't have rice at all, it is good to say, I have little rice. It means sometimes we cannot be straightforward. We cannot bluntly say, I don't have any rice and all that. So little rice indicates that no, nothing is available in the place. A little is a little bit of something is available. And then under countables, what words go under it? Under that, in the same category. So little we have used under uncountables. And under countables,
Few.
we have words like few, same concept here, a few. So one means nil and the other, a few means something is available, the required amount. So when speaking of smaller quantities, when you want to speak about smaller quantities, so obviously there would be your presentation, your information would be more accurate when you use quantifiers with whatever the nouns you are speaking of. And then coming to the undefined quantifiers, we have words like some and any. And the two can be used for both the things. You can use for countables and you can also use it for uncountables. There is no confusion at all with the two. So, but one thing you can remember here is some, in general, it is used in affirmative sentences. So, Nagaraj, any idea about what an affirmative sentence is?
For example, just like have some more rice.
Yeah, some more rice. And then, JP, what do you mean by affirmative sentence?
Affirmative sentence, I think it is a negative sentence.
Negative sentence. Rajkiran, do you agree with Jay Prakash?
I think it's a question, sir. What is your name?
What is your name is an affirmative sentence. And what is the question then? What is the name you give for a question? Affirmative itself. Okay. And then, Murali, what is your understanding of an affirmative?
It is a positive.
Positive sentence, exactly. Affirmative means a positive statement, a positive sentence. And negative sentence, we have these two categories, affirmative and negative. So for affirmative sentences, usually we go with the word some. So we have some friends, I have some friends. And I can also say, I have some rice with me. So something is available, undefined. The quantity is not defined at all there. And in the negative context and questions, we use the word any. So now, why we have to go with all these quantifiers? I'll just give you an example here. So one day, as we teachers are given some targets or some projects, so one day I was given a project. So I was given a project and my friend is also with some other project and I have a deadline. By a particular date I should complete my work. And so I went to my friend and then requested him. So my dear friend, I have work to complete, so will you help me? He simply said, I cannot help you because I also have my work to complete. I said, it's urgent, I have work, I have to complete it this evening itself. So even then he was not convinced. He was my close friend and he was not convinced. But later, on the next day when I met him, you said you are very busy and you said you have a lot of work. And then now you are seen free, and yesterday also I saw you in a near a theater. Then he said, you said you have work, but if you had told me how much work you exactly had, I would have been willing to help you. So means I thought, so I was not in a position to, I was not able to express my idea in an accurate way or an effective way. So I said just only I have work. But remember, what all the quantifiers can go with the word work. If I had used a word like one quantifier before it, I had
A lot of.
a possibility is I have a lot of work. If I had said this a lot of work, even without this word, my friend said, no, I won't help you. Even if I had said a lot of work, I have a lot of work, you would not have helped me. And what are the possibilities which would have made him help me at that particular situation?
Somewhat.
Yeah. So I would have said I have some work. Any other words which go with that? Just only one word, some work. Yeah, I could have also used a word like little work. Any other?
Plenty of work.
So if I had said a plenty of work, my friend would have said,
I have much work. Can you use much?
yeah, you can also use the word much. Words go with it. But would I get a positive response with that? So, but with these words, I have some work. Would you please help me? I have a little work to complete. Would you help me? Would you mind helping me? And then I have a bit of work. A little work or a little bit of work or a bit of work. So this might have given him a complete idea of how much work I had, and he would have been in a position to help me in that particular situation. But we have many other possibilities of using different quantifiers with the word work. So forget about my friend's help to me, but what are all the other words that can go with it? Can we use some other words, some other quantifiers in the words as the words that you have used here? Can I use I have
Much work.
much work? So can I use I have more work? So and then can I use enough work? Forget about the context. But possibilities of using quantifiers with the word work.
Can we say huge work, sir?
I have a huge amount of work. A huge amount of work I have. So you can also use that. And then you could have also said little work. A little work can also be used in the context there. I have no work can also be said. I have all work. All work also would go with that. So understood the concept of quantifiers.
What about a great deal of work? Can we
Even so, we can use many phrases can go with that, but in the limited way. So this particular the things that we have mentioned here are a great deal of work, a lot of work, a huge amount of work. All these things are okay, accepted. Okay, right? Okay, so is the concept clear to all of you?
Yes.
So remember, quantifiers have a purpose. So when you are able to use quantifiers, you try to convey to your people, your friends, or with whomever you communicate, the accuracy of your idea. What exactly you want to convey to people, that would be conveyed in an effective way. Otherwise, there would be confusions, and whatever the work I am due for it, I would have missed it. Right? Okay, you have a small task to complete now. First, I'm going to give you one slip each to each of you, and they are numbered. Okay, so On each of the slip that I have given you, there is a question with a number, right? And now I'm going to distribute you a few quantifiers. And now the task that you're going to do is, you're going to interact with people, meet people, or just sitting in your place. You can just face each other, sit in a circle. So people in the front row can turn your chairs. A group task it is, and a simple task. So as I'm going to give you the slips with the answers for your questions, so one of you would read number one, the first person would read the first question, and then whoever has the answer that you think is the right answer, you're going to find out the answer, and the person who has that question is going to correct that answer. Okay.
Who got the first question? I got five.
The first person, whoever has the first question, just read out your question, and then whoever feels that they have the right answer.
Sir, is this one?
Yeah, it's one.
So should I read?
Yeah, please do the task. It's a group task. So first one person with the first question would read, and then collect the question answer from the people.
I need to write a shopping list. How dash fruit have we got?
A few.
How a few fruit have we got? The sentence is, I need to write a shopping list. How dash fruit have we got?
How many?
How many?
How many? Yes.
How many fruit have we got?
Second question. We have got a lot of grapes, but only blank apples.
A few. Next, third question. And how dash vegetables have we got?
Sorry, once again.
How dash vegetables have we got?
How many? Again many.
How much?
How many?
Okay, you please give us a two.
What about my answer then?
Your answer is there in the hand.
My answer is a little. How a little fruit have we got? Is the answer.
The remaining answer, let us do
Okay,
it.
go for
I have enough method.
Question
How,
number three.
how
two more
dash
questions.
fruit have we
Three is
got?
our item, right?
Huh? Sir,
How
question number
dash?
three.
Read the fourth one, sir.
Third question.
Third one.
Fourth one, we have got tomatoes and peppers, but we haven't got dash potatoes.
Enough, sir. Enough
Not
potatoes.
enough. Any.
Can you say enough potatoes?
Can't we say any potatoes?
No.
Yeah, one more minute, and you are supposed to complete your task. So quickly.
I'm going to-
I have no answer, please.
Fifth one is over.
Fifth one. Here is fifth one is mine. We don't need to buy water. We have already got. I think enough.
No, enough.
Sixth one,
Yeah, I
sir.
got my answer.
Sixth one, I have only got dash money with me, so we need to stop at the bank.
I think it is mentioned.
I have only got
Any money?
I think a little money I have. I have only got a little money, so a little is
Otherwise, a few.
if you
Money is uncountable, right?
so money a
So,
little money.
On the time it is.
How much?
Is it right?
It is
No,
a-
I have to stop at bank because I have no money.
A little money.
How can you say much money?
Yes, little.
A little money.
You over?
Where is the remaining?
I don't have an answer, sir.
Remaining.
The remaining is good.
Okay, right. Yeah, please face the class again. So who has the first question?
I have.
Yeah, please read out the first question.
I need to write a shopping list. How dash fruit have we got?
Yeah. And what is the answer that you have with you now?
The answer that they gave me is how much fruit have we got?
What do you think? Is it a right answer or a wrong answer?
This is the only option that we have, so I think this is right.
So because that option remains with you, you think it's the right answer. But actually that's the right answer. How much fruit is the right answer. It's not fruits. We can also say fruits, and we can also say fruit. Nothing wrong in using both the words. So how much fruit? The question is, have we got? So that's the right answer there. And
Sir, can't you say how many fruits have we got?
okay, when you are talking about different categories of things, so different things, and then you're going to emphasize, then we can use words fruits and then many. Both the things can go there. But when you are just putting them together, the whole thing, it's a combined you are talking of. So how much fruit have you got? That amount of fruit category, how much you have got, you're speaking about it. Okay. But when you're talking about independent one, individual categories of fruit, then we can say many fruits or one particular thing. How many fruits, how many apples, so that way you can say. Right. Okay, second question.
Sir, we have got a lot of grapes, but only blank apples.
So what is your answer?
A few.
A few is the right answer there, good. Okay, third question.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And how blank vegetables have we got?
okay.
Many.
How many vegetables? Wonderful. Right, the next question.
We have got tomatoes and peppers, but
Okay.
we haven't got dash potatoes, any.
Any potato, we haven't got negative sentence, so we use the word any there. So that's the right answer. And then next question. So fifth question.
Fifth one. We don't need to buy water. We have already got
Okay.
enough
So
water.
enough water. Wonderful. And then
Sixth one, sir.
last one.
I have only got dash money with me, so we need to stop at the bank.
Okay.
So answer is a little, sir. I have only got a little money with me, so we need to stop at the bank.
Okay.
That is answer.
Is it a right answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's a right. A little money I have got. So we have to stop at the bank. Right. Okay. So that is the end of the task, and that is the end of our today's session. Thank you, and meet you in the next class. Bye. Reading questions at the introduction part, I think I need to have a bit more practice, or I should have planned well with my leading questions, and then I should have started the lesson. And then, as we have started the topic, I thought categories are important, and so I started explaining that, and then taking as it is an interactive one, I thought I could ask questions and then get answers. Since there are a few wrong answers coming in, so I thought I should give explanation, and so I went that way. But I should have reduced the interactive part a bit, and then touched upon only two categories, so in that.
Yeah, that's okay.
And one more problem, sir. If at all I had a clock before me this side, it would have been a reminder to me, but because that can miss 10 minutes or 15
In a
minutes.
real classroom, you don't have that advantage.
Yes, sir.
So you must learn to look at your wrist.
Yes.
Students will be given the signals.
Yeah.
Finished?
Yes, sir.
Francis, your feedback.
Yes, sir, really. We enjoyed listening to your class, sir. That's a good amount of time you have spent to introduce the topic. And I really like the activities. Those are well planned and also interesting and so engaging. Even the last activity also. There is clarity in your voice, and everything, most of your class went on in interactive mode, right? So not in an instructional mode. Most of your class went on in interactive mode. But I still have some doubts that when Nagaraju say, if it is little, there is nothing, you have said. But somewhere I've read that little means something is left. A little means something that is enough. That's what a bit of
Little means almost nothing.
Almost.
Almost, which means nothing. You can take to mean nothing. That's
Yeah,
okay.
almost goal is not a goal, so
There I got a bit confusion, but except that everything is really nice.
thank you.
Sure.
Congrats, Kumar. It's quite an interesting lesson in the afternoon. After much active session by madam, you try to keep it up even in your session. That's good. It was a good beginning, very natural beginning. In fact, that's what we do in the classrooms. You resorted to the same strategy. That was nice. You got a very good voice on the positive side, and your voice is clear, loud enough. And I really appreciate the way you started leading it. Of course, as you yourself identified, it has been dragged down. it must have been much more crisp and focused. But the way you use the plank as a prop is quite interesting. Of course, when you're resourceful, we don't need to have too many materials. That's good. That's very interesting idea. You using that plank as an image to elicit them some of the quantifiers. And your body language is very much effective and quite apt to the session. And you started your session very interactive way, but somewhere in between I feel that it lopsided.
Taken much time over the board.
Yes, some students have been quiet for some time, and apart from that it went on well. But on the downside, I have got one observation that when you are asking them to identify large, small categorization of quantifiers, you could have asked them to make some sentences by using the words, which could have helped them to reinforce what you have thought.
I should have used my time here and then
use that for reinforcing it. That could have helped them out. But I think there is some confusion with the task, giving instructions how to go about the task. Thanks to the students' resourcefulness, they could manage it. Right, but by and large, it's a very good session. It's a very good session. I appreciate you for the effort you have put in.
No, I haven't finished. No. A fairly good lesson, even though it was a traditional lesson, teacher-dominated lesson. Right? You went about the lesson in a systematic way. You had an advantage with the students. The students had a good idea of the concepts you were using. And so you had very little difficulty in making them understand that in a real class, this wouldn't have worked. For instance, you did not even attempt to explain what quantity means, what amount means. I would have done it. Right? I wouldn't have taken it for granted. I would have explained what amount means, what quantity means, because that's crucial to the understanding of the concept you were driving at. Secondly, I don't know why it happened. Nagaraju, who was a bad student in Vijayalakshmi's class, was a very good student in your class. Without you asking for it, he was explaining things like countable, uncountable. These two terms, countable and uncountable, were crucial to the success of your lesson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nagaraju came to your help. He supplied the terms and he explained. And in the next round also, I found.
Otherwise, I would have gone beyond 30 minutes.
Yes. It would have taken some more time for you. So, as you rightly identified the problem in your self-feedback, you could have reduced the amount of materials you wanted to use. Fewer categories.
Sir, yes, sir.
You could have used not less categories because
Yes, sir.
people say less flowers and so on. Not less flowers, fewer flowers. Fewer in flowers, not less. We must use the standard forms, but even in England, people have started saying less flowers and so on. Standard usage is this. So, too many concepts, quantifier, amount, affirmative, negative, right? Except for the last task. That was okay, that was a communicative task. But because the students had become tired by the time, even the task with communicative dimension was done in a laborious way by the students. Did you notice it? Huh? There was some awkwardness during the course of the task. The task certainly had a communicative dimension, there is no doubt about it. But the students had grown tired because of the didactic explanation provided by you that dominated the lesson, and so it tended to be laborious. The task was good, otherwise if you had used the task much earlier with a limited number of categories, the task would have helped you.
Yes, sir.
in a real class, there would have been a lot of confusion. Students wouldn't have understood things so well, but since your class consisted of experienced teachers, there was no problem at all. And then the class was not very active. You know why it was not very active? It was not activity-based teaching. The teacher was providing a lot of explanation that dominated the lesson. That's why, as Shiva rightly pointed out, in the beginning, there were responses. There were over-enthusiastic responses also from one of the students, using terms like countable, not countable, providing explanations and so on. After that, there was a climb down, right? They were not active. And towards the end, the task was done in a laborious way. Plus, of course, the fact that you took 32 minutes, right? 28 minutes. 28 minutes. So it was not quite a micro lesson. Right. So you can try to have greater control, right, when you teach a micro lesson next. Thank you.